Hey y'all, hey, I'm back with another video. So, I genuinely didn't know what to talk about today. I just wanted to make sure that I got a video out for y'all. I'm trying, like I said, to be more consistent with getting videos out to y'all. So I just said, let me just find something to talk about. So because I know a lot of people really do like when I talk about Joe Budden podcast, I figured we could just go down that rabbit hole and talk about them a little bit. So I want to start off by first saying I appreciate the girly JBP TikTok community that I found on TikTok, where we are this is a community of black women that are extremely ashamed of the fact that we watch the Joe Budden podcast, but we do find some type of entertainment in it, and we have our little kiki over there on TikTok, so that's cute. That's been a nice time over there. And we can make like all of our judgments, without like being judged by like the men. So we're having a nice time over there, and we're dragging. We're having a nice time. But a few things, I just kind of said, all right, let's kind of talk about a few things, because my overall problem, I want to say this. I canceled my Patreon. I was on the $25 tier, which I think is like Friends. I don't know. It's not the highest tier. It's not the second. It's the third one in the middle, right? Where you get like 2 extra videos a month and some other shit, right? Cool. So I want to first start off by talking about that. I saw yesterday, right, in the JBT community Twitter little thing or whatever, that people was like, oh my gosh, if you're raising prices, I'm done. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So apparently, in the spaces that was held earlier, I don't know if Joe or Ian, but one of the two said that starting in 2026 that all of the tiers were going to be going up by like $5 to $10. So some people were like, the $25 tier is not going to be $36, and I think the $10 tier might be like either 15 or 20. And I'm here to tell you, Joseph, and Ian, and Corey, the answer is a resounding hell no. You expect people in this economy, to pay y'all $36 a month? $36 doubloons, American dollars, USD, a month. Let me do the math. First of all, it's bad enough that I was paying $25 a month. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit why I actually canceled my Patreon. But at $25 a month, and I had been subscribed, I think I did Patreon solidly for like a year and some change. Let's just say 18 months. I have given Joseph Anthony Budden $450 over 18 months for content. So let's just do a year, right? So at the regular rate, it would have been $300 a year. $300 a year that we're giving y'all for content. At $36 a month, $432. That is a $132 increase that you want us to pay y'all. And I'm going to go down all of the reasons as to why. And now I know some people could be like, well, it's the economy is bad and that's why he needs us to pay more. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Let me go down the reasons to me why this makes no sense. Like I said, number one, the economy. People can barely afford to pay the $10 tier. I be seeing people online, like, literally being like, bro, I only have the $10 tier. I only have the $5 tier. Can somebody give me the link? Can somebody do this? Can somebody do that? People are struggling enough. And I'm sorry, you are more a luxury than anything. You're not a need. You're a luxury, to be quite honest. So people gotta pay, but if people gotta pick between getting lunch that day and watching the Joe Budden podcast, they're gonna pick their lunch. And I understand that, again, with the economy, y'all probably got, stuff that y'all need to kind of get together too. I know that Mark said on the recent pod that he asked for more money. I don't give a fuck where you find it from, but I need more money. I get all of that. But trying to come to us, given what I'm about to go through, to ask for more money is bullshit. So let's go through a few of the reasons why I think it's bullshit. First of all, I canceled my Patreon because of 2 reasons, and we're going to go through them. Reason number 1, I feel as if the quality and content for Patreon has nosedived, and I mean so badly. When I first got Patreon, right, which was literally like I think a year or two ago, like literally I want to say a couple of months after Mel and Flip had first started on the show. I had got Patreon, and I got Patreon not even realizing that Flip and Mel was on the show, because again at that time I wasn't keeping all the way up, I was keeping up a little bit. But at that time Patreon was super, super dope, right? Now, I never watched the behind the scenes, really, because that's not really my thing. But the early the early drop was always nice. And then the second Patreon drop was always fun. The second Patreon drop, they tend to get into like either topics that they didn't want to get into on the main, or like they can delve a little bit deeper on certain topics, kind of really tell their real feelings and opinions, right? Since it's not plastered out to everyone. However, as time has gone on, the Patreons have turned into fun, kind of like little overflow of conversation, to literally being either extremely guest filled. And I mean, the guest is there for 2 fucking hours running their mouth along with y'all. When this is my thing. Joe has always prided himself on his podcast not being a guest-based show, meaning he didn't need guests to help him sustain his show. I don't know what has happened in the last year and some change. I have no idea. If you look at just this year alone on how many guests they've had versus, I would say, like the last 3 to 4 years, it's the uptick is insane. I don't watch this show, and the majority of the people that watch the show, we don't watch this show to watch y'all interview guests. That's not what this platform is for. It's here to talk about musical people and things like that. But for the most part, we're not here to have y'all have guests on y'all show. Y'all not good fucking interviewers, okay? Sometimes Joe asks good questions. But overall, y'all are not good interviewers. Y'all are not. And nobody is going to the Joe Budden podcast to give it the fuck up. They're not. They're going up there simply for the exposure because of how big y'all platform is. When have we ever, like this is a great example that people brought up. Rod Wave was just on the show doing an interview. I need to understand, when on God's green earth has Joe or anybody on that fucking platform ever spoke about a Rod Wave's album before? Has ever played Rod Wave's songs? Never. So to me, that was like the nail in the coffin. This last one, oh, y'all really are just doing shit just to do it. I don't care whether or not it was a good interview, because I did not watch, because he was there the whole fucking show. And I do not pay $25 a month to have guests sit on Patreons for the entire time and run their mouth with y'all, because y'all are not really potting when the guests are there. Y'all are being good hosts. So we don't even get what we really should be getting from y'all. But again, if you're going to have people that comes up there, from my understanding, it always used to be we only have people come up here that we really, really fuck with and that we really like, really like their music. So, for example, when everything after Drake and Pusha happened, right, and Pusha T was on their show, that made sense because we know that all of them like Pusha and we know the whole situation. When they had Nicki on the show, makes all the sense in the world, right? I'm trying to think who else is somebody that makes sense. There's a few people that make sense, but Rod Wave, for what? I love A. Marie, but for what? Like, y'all have all of these guests on here that does not really make sense. Yes, y'all talk about music, but let's talk about, if you're going to have people on there, we need to have people on there of music that y'all actually talk about. So, for example, like I said, the clips being on there, again, makes sense. If Jeezy was to come on that show, that makes sense. If Chris Brown comes on the show, that makes fucking sense. When have y'all ever talked about Rod Wave and his music on y'all platform? Y'all don't. So it does not fucking align. What are we talking about? It does not align at all. I'm tired of the damn guests. This is not a guest-based. It has, in the past, was never a guest-based show. And all it's been on Patreon is guest. Meaning I'm skipping the majority of the fucking Patreons that's dropping because I don't care. I don't care. What was my second point outside of the damn guests? Oh, and then outside of the guests, which is not, it's a decent amount of guests, but this is my main issue with the Patreons. Patreon, like I said, has went from the spot where we have overflow conversation from the pod that we didn't get to, or we talk about topics that we can't necessarily talk about on the main pod because it's kind of sensitive. It has turned from that and into a Teams meeting. And I say Teams meeting, y'all know, if y'all work in corporate, y'all know what I'm talking about. It is literally
just, it's literally like them having a team meeting and just setting up a camera and saying, go ahead, y'all. Because why is every Patreon, and this has been said for years, and I don't know why y'all don't stop, but it's very annoying. It's, in one way, yes, because Ish talked about this on, I think, the Need to Know podcast, because I saw a clip, where he was like, people are like, I don't necessarily like the whole contract talk thing, but it makes people feel involved in this and that, and it's like, whatever, I don't care about that. If y'all did the quote-unquote little teams meeting portion, maybe for 5 minutes out of each show, maybe at like the first 5 to 10 minutes of each Patreon is y'all saying how y'all felt like the show went or whatever, what y'all feel about each other, and then let it go and move on. I have no problem with that. But when y'all are constantly making Patreon the space for y'all to like have some type of fucking staff meeting, or for people to sit up there and publicly air out their grievances with their coworkers, we don't want to watch that, bro. We're not here to be virtual HR, because that's what it feels like. It feels like, as the fucking Patreon people watching, we're virtual HR, but we can't actually enact anything. Y'all need to stop. It's very annoying to keep having to come up here and watch y'all just literally have a staff meeting for 2 fucking hours. We're not paying to see y'all have a staff meeting. And then the crazy part is y'all have staff meetings and nothing is fucking resolved. Nothing is resolved. It's not like y'all do all of that and then at the end of it, it's resolved. Or y'all started off, like I said, with going through grievances with each other, and then, but like I said, by the end of it, everything is cool, y'all, kumbaya. Half the time, people don't make it through Patreons because they walk out because they're pissed off from getting into it with each other. Or at the end of the Patreon, everybody's worse off than what the fuck we started. We don't want to see that. Joseph, Ian, and Corey, we don't care anymore. And this is exactly how y'all get into the messy shit that y'all get into, because y'all be having staff shit aired out on fucking, or y'all have grievances aired out publicly, and it's annoying. And thirdly, on the Patreon, specifically since Mel left, and I said this in my last video, why is this the Imani show? I thought it was the Joe Budden podcast. Why are the Patreons now Imani? I don't want to, I'm telling you right now, I want to be very clear. I think Imani is fine as hell. I think Imani probably has really good peen game. I believe it. I believe that Imani probably does all of the freaky-ish. He really probably is freaky-y. I believe all of that. I'm pretty sure he's breaking backs and breaking hearts. However, I do not want to hear about Imani's sex life. I don't want to hear about his relationships. I don't want to hear about, for an hour. Why are we starting each Patreon with going through Imani's full life, financially, kid-wise, sexually, for an hour and some change before we get to the point? And this is going to roll into my next point about Mel, but maybe we'll save that for a second. Point is, the Patreons are not hitting the way they used to, which is the main reason why I stopped paying. Because what I noticed is that essentially I'm only watching the regular pod, and then I just be skipping over the behind the scenes because I don't really care unless something happens. I don't watch the Mark and Ian show. And yeah, it's just a bunch of bullshit. So I canceled that. Awesome. We're gonna run right into Mel. This is my other thing too, right? When it comes to the whole Mel thing, I am annoyed. Let's stop for a second, right? Shout out to Taxstone, although he says a lot of ignorant shit too. Taxstone, way before he got locked up, I'm talking about when he was still doing his podcast. That's how long I've been like listening to podcasts, right? When Taxstone was still doing his podcast, he had Joe come up there. And something that Tax said that stuck out for me and I always harken back to about Joe is this. Tax said on his show when he was interviewing Joe, he said, "You want to know what you do? You think because you can gaslight these bitches, and because you can kind of use your words to, as Flip said, your tricky words or whatever on them, and it works, you think you could go to a real nigga or to everybody else and talk to them like that and expect them to pretty much buy into your bullshit. He's absolutely right, and that's always stuck with me. Joe is a gaslighter, not just to the women, but to everybody that's around him, to his friends that we see. Let me be clear, because I don't know this man. I'm going off of what I see, and that's going to be really important when we talk about the native land podcast part, right? From what I see, from what we see, Joe is very much so a gaslighter to the girls that he's with. We know that already. His friends, and then the fans that actually watch the show. Because Mel is no longer on this show, right? And that has yet to be addressed. Joe don't want to at all address the fact that somebody that was really important to this show, that's been here for almost 2 years, that really, like I said, at this point is very important to the show. Now we just not gonna address that she's gone. We're gonna try to slip in Mona without saying anything. We're gonna try to slip in Sasha without ever addressing it. This is what really pisses me off about all of this. On Spaces, and I only know this because I saw somebody commented. I heard the clip. On Spaces, they asked Joe, we're tired of this shit. Why can't you just address what the fuck is going on with Mel? Joe pretty much said that it's none of our business what the fuck is going on with Mel. And low-key, why do we feel so entitled to know what the fuck is going on with her? Okay, let me answer that for you. Number one, for the people that are paying. We're paying for a product and we're not getting it. So it ain't no, oh, y'all so entitled. We're paying for this shit. What are you talking about? I started paying Patreon once Melissa Ford got on the show. I did not pay for Patreon prior to her being on the show. So be clear, for me, Melissa Ford was part of the product that I'm paying for. So I'm paying you money, obviously, for the overall cast. But Melissa was a very big driving force as to why I even paid money for you niggas. Because I could not deal with just a whole bunch of niggas talking to each other. I needed a woman in there. So good. That was helpful. And then Mark came on and that made me feel even better about why I paid what I paid. Because I had stopped too. But then Mark came on and I said, you know what? I feel better about going back and paying. But my thing is, you guys are a product. And it's kind of like what I'm dealing with right now with this bag that I bought. I bought this bag, right? I have not received said bag yet. And it's been almost a month. I have not received my purse. But guess what? They still took my money. And guess what? They have not responded to any of my emails about where my bag is. They have not responded to any emails about where the fuck my money is. So the point of the matter is, I'm pretty much just out of $300 damn because I paid for a product that I never got. And what you're pretty much saying is that person does not owe me an explanation. Although I paid for something and I did not get it, I'm not owed an explanation as to why. Are you insane? Are you insane? Niggas pay for this shit. Not everybody, but a lot of us pay for it. And all niggas is asking you to do is, if Mel is no longer on this show, please let us know so that we could all move accordingly. Because for me personally, if Joe was to come on and say, Melissa Ford is no longer on the show, great. That means I could stop fucking paying for this shit. Not me continuously pay for it, hoping and waiting that Mel comes back, and she does not. So now that it's very clear that Mel is no longer on this show, I'm not paying for this shit no more. And I feel like that's what he's low-key scared of. I think he's scared that he says Mel is no longer on this show, and I think he's afraid that he has to address why she's not on this show anymore. Okay? And the effects that may have. But this is my biggest problem, right? If you don't want to address the whole thing with Mel, my thing is, let's not address it at all. But when y'all, and I mean Joe, Mark, I'm trying to think of who's done it. Joe, Mark, Flip, I think Ish has a little bit, but barely. No, I don't think Ish or Ice has, and maybe Parks has. All of you have made reference to Mel since she's left this show. Joe, you always send the fucking shots at Mel since she left. Mark be trying to be funny by saying her name. Flip be funny by trying to bring her up. So this is my thing, right? And this is all my transitions. We're transitioning today. This is going to transition right into the Native Land podcast situation. But
If we're not, like, what did Monique say? If we're not going to say names, leave it on the playground, Leonard. Why is it okay that y'all can sit on this show and make references to Mel, shade Mel, say little shit, but then when we as the audience ask, well, what's actually going on, you say it's none of y'all business, y'all too entitled. Who the fuck are you talking to? Who the fuck are you talking to? If you really want to be on something, I don't want to even address the fact that Mel's gone. I don't want to talk about it. I just don't even want to address it. Then let's not shade her. Let's stop bringing her up. Let's stop doing little innuendos towards her. Let's stop altogether. But you cannot in 1 minute shade the fuck out of Mel constantly and have other cast members throw little shots at her and then turn around. And mind you, when they do that, not correct them, not stop them, not take it out. You leave all that shit in. And then when us as the fans are responding to that and saying, well, where the fuck is Mel? Your answer to that is, well, that's none of y'all business. Y'all feel so entitled. Joe, shut the fuck up. Shut up. That's exactly why I'm taking my money. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. Please stop playing in our faces. Please stop playing in our daggone faces, right? Another thing, too, and I already went off on this, but I listened to my video, and I was kind of mean. This probably ain't going to be nicer. I don't know how much nicer I could be about the whole situation, but Sasha, it's not just me, because I see everybody saying it. Sasha is a no. Sasha is a no-go for us. Not gonna work. It's not going to happen. And can I also tell you, like, what really bothers me about this whole thing, right? With the Sasha, I want to be really careful about how I'm saying this because I don't want to be offensive when I say this. With the whole Sasha and Mona thing, right? I think there was a part on a podcast, maybe like a week or two ago, right? Where Flip and Joe is pretty much saying to Mona, like, Mona, girl, like, girl, you know you fine. Because I think Mona was saying, like, people was, like, trying to come for her looks a little bit. And Joe and Flip was like, girl, Mona, we will flip you. If niggas didn't have wives or girlfriends, we would flip you. We flip you. We'll take you down. Da, 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 da. Awesome. Great. Wonderful. Why is Sasha here then? Why is it then when Mel left, y'all just didn't add Mona and that was it? Y'all added Sasha for a specific reason. A very specific reason y'all picked Sasha. Mona alone would have been fine to would have been fine to replace Mel. Y'all already only had one woman on there. What was the purpose of bringing in Sasha? If to y'all Mona is so beautiful. Stop playing in our fucking face. Like, this is the shit that I be talking about. Please stop playing in our face. Stop playing in our face. Mona is so damn beautiful. She's so damn beautiful. And if she's so damn beautiful to y'all, why did y'all feel the need to go and bring Sasha in? We know why. We're not dumb. It's for eye candy because she's like conventionally pretty much what y'all niggas feel is pretty. So y'all pretty much brought in a conventionally pretty woman to cover up for the fact that Mel, who's conventionally beautiful, is not here anymore. Y'all see, where are the women? Joe said that his mom is part owner in the company. I'm pretty sure that's just probably like legal. Where are the women consultants for this show? That's not a star tender. That did not work at Starlets. That does not work at a strip club. Where are the women consultants for this show? And then y'all wonder why people are saying, or some of the men are saying what they're saying to Mona about how she looks. I've seen so many men on both the Patreon and Twitter literally comment, Mona is here for the funny, and we know what Sasha is here for. Exactly. Stop playing in our face. But they want to sit up there and try to be like, oh, Mona, you're so beautiful. So if she's beautiful, then she's beautiful. We didn't need no other one. Oh, I'm trying to be so respectful. Mona was enough is what I'm trying to say. We didn't need all the extra shit. Sasha, as beautiful as she is, she doesn't bring anything other than being beautiful. I'm talking about to the show. She could be very, very smart, very intelligent. She could have all the things. But I'm talking about to this show. She does not bring anything other than being beautiful. And also, since Sasha is here,
My thing is, like I said before, y'all do not hold her to the same standard that y'all, even Mona to a degree that y'all hold Mona to. And Mona ain't even been here that long. Y'all don't hold her to the same standard that y'all did Mona or Mel. Because a lot of the shit that comes out of Sasha's mouth is the same shit that Mel might say or some shit that Mona might say. And y'all sit there and y'all let it fucking slide. I didn't even watch the whole thing, but they said that Sasha talked about she was Team OVO. If Mel Ford would have sat there and said, bitch, I don't care what y'all talking about. I'm Team Canada. I'm Team Drake. I'm Team OVO. Y'all would have dragged her. Y'all would have dragged her. Y'all don't even treat Sasha since she, I don't watch it enough, but since she's been on the show, and this hasn't been long, but y'all are clearly giving her the runway to do a lot of shit that y'all would not let Mel get away with, or that y'all not letting Mona get away with, simply because y'all find her to be attractive. And y'all also, like I said, act like children when she sits there. Ish acts like a fucking 3-year-old when that girl is sitting there like he ain't never sat next to no beautiful woman before a day in his life. Y'all act like children. So she needs to go because, number one, she does not really bring anything other than being very beautiful. And y'all clearly don't know how to handle yourselves around women that look like her. Y'all don't know how to do it. Y'all act a fool. Mel's not on this show anymore. Awesome. It would have been nice if you would have said that so that you could leave the rest of the audience to make their decision on whether or not they want to continuously support. But it's clear that you did not want to do that because you know the backlash that would have came from that. And I humbly believe that part of the reason that Mel left has to do with Flip. And I don't think Joe wants to have to answer for Mel leaving for Flip's bullshit and Flip still being there, because it's not the first time that Flip has caused issues, not just with Melissa, but with damn near every single person on that cast. I will say I've been making videos forever. I'm glad that Mel is gone because Mel needs to leave because that's not a safe space for her. Not because she's not good on the show. It's not a safe space for her mentally. It ain't a good spot. Them niggas don't know how to act. Go ahead. Let Mona deal. Mona can kind of deal with nigga shenanigans a little bit more, and also Mona is a little bit more like assertive, you know, like for example, when they constantly cut her off, Mona has had to tell them at least 3 times since she started the show, yo, when I'm in the middle of making a point, do not do that. Don't jump over me like I wasn't talking. Do not ignore me like you didn't hear what I just said, because that's what they would do to Mel. That's what I'm saying. The difference is that Mel would just be like, okay, all right. Mona's gonna be everybody shut the fuck up. Did y'all hear what I said? Fucking try to tell us we're entitled because we want to know where somebody, an actual host, is gone. Mind you, the only woman co-host. If one of them niggas left, I wouldn't give 2 shits. But the only woman host that you have left, and you say that we feel entitled about a product that we're paying for and not fucking getting, and want to know when we're getting the product back? Fuck out my face. Fuck out my face. And then another thing is, it's too many people on the mic. I don't know how we got from 3 people. It went Joe, Rory, and Mal. Parks is always on this side, so I'm never counting him. Joe, Rory, and Mal. To Joe, Ice, and Ish. To Joe, Ice, Ish, Mel, and Flip. To Joe, Ice, Ish, Mel, Flip, Mark, Imani. And Imani came on the Patreons later. There are 7 fucking people. Oh, my bad. Now let's keep going. Now we have Joe, Ice, Ish, Flip, Mona, Mark, Parks, Imani, Sasha. Bitch, that's 9 people. How the hell do we go from 3 to 9 that fast? That is insanity. 5 to me was more than enough. Joe, Ice, Ish, Flip, and Mel. That was more than enough with Parks on the side. It's too many people on the mic. When I have to watch the Joe Budden podcast, I cannot listen to that shit anymore because I don't know what everybody is saying. Everybody is always speaking over each other, and he gets mad about that. But it's hard to not speak over each other when it's 7 people on a fucking mic. It's 7 people on a mic at any given day. What are we doing? We don't need that many people on the mic. I get it. Joe wanted a lot of people so he could rotate people out. But rotate them bitches. I'm tired of it being so many people at one time. It's too many fucking people. How about we cut up these shows and break them up into different parts? Baby, Ice-ish, Joe, and Flip can do one. And then maybe that same day, we can have a separate pod. But, like, Joe could be on that too. But do Joe, Mark, and like, we need to mix it up. It's too many people on the mic. I cannot hear correctly. When I'm working, I have to have them up. There's no way I can just audio. Like, I can't do an audio. It's too many fucking people. Which might be why you're raising the price, because there's so many people. That's my thing. Kick these niggas off. Flip, I'm sorry. He could go. Not needed. Imani, to me, you should move him to the main channel as far as I'm concerned. But if you want to leave Imani on Patreon, cool. But it's too many people on the damn mic. I can't even keep up with who the fuck's all there. So, that's my rant about that, right? Then let's go on to the Native Land podcast of it all. So, in this last episode, they addressed the Native Land podcast, which I ain't never heard a day in my life. But, apparently, I love how Mark was like, it's one of the biggest podcasts. And even Ice was like, all right now. And I'm like, thank you, because I ain't never heard of this shit a day in my life. Granted, I stand Angela Rye. That's my bitch. Bitch, Angela Rye and Ebony K. Williams, you can't tell me to. I know Joe hates. That's why I don't get along with Joe, mostly in my head, because you don't like Angela Rye and Ebony K. Williams. Those is my bitches in my head. Those is like my aunties. Don't play with me. Do not play with my aunties, okay? But, anyway, so Angela Rye, I think Andrew Gilliam, who was like a mayor, and like maybe 2 or 3 other people who have a podcast. It's like a, I don't know, I guess they call it intellectual black podcast or whatever. And they had a show or podcast recently where I think the title was like the Joe Budden podcast and like the drop of intellectualism or some shit like that. And I watched part of it. I didn't really watch the whole thing because Joe and them covered it pretty much enough, which is pretty much like, okay, after the whole clip came out, right, with Flip and Mark, it wasn't just them. A lot of people had a lot of things to say because it went very much so viral. And one of the main things that was kind of taken away simply because of the fact where Flip was like, well, you be using a whole bunch of tricky words to like try to confuse people. And Mark was like, it's not tricky words. They're tricky words to you. That part kind of stood out to a lot of people. And I'm going to tell you why. So within the Native Land podcast, they pretty much was just saying how they felt like Mark didn't need to be on the show, which is a sentiment that's already been said since he's been on here. He shouldn't be on the show, that everybody pretty much for the most part on that show is not on his level intellectually. They don't get it. Flip is not very smart, and he got upset because he's challenged by somebody who is extremely smart, so you feel insecure about that. I want to be very clear and say this. Native Land podcast is not the only people that said that. Everybody who watched that damn clip said that what they walked away from is that they don't understand why Mark is on the show, because Mark is too fucking smart to be on that show. And number 2, that the rest of y'all seem to have an issue with how smart that Mark is. And it seems to always come up. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is my thing. Y'all try to act like, and I want to say this too, with what the Native Land podcast said. I don't agree with everything that they said. I don't think that the way that they like approached the conversation was necessarily the best. I do agree with the guy who was like, I don't think they was arguing over the tricky words thing. I think it was something bigger than that, which he was right. It was bigger than that. So I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they said. However, I want to be very clear. People treat you the way that they meet you. Period. And if we're going off of the clips, at least recently, like the last, I'd say year and some change, or year or two that's gone viral from this podcast, let's go, at least the one with Mark, right? The one that went viral with Mark prior to this was the flat earth situation with Ish and Mark going back and forth over whether or not the earth is flat. And that went viral as well. And the same thing was said around that time, which is, bro, this is what happens when clear facts and somebody smart is trying to tell you something or who have some knowledge and you just completely shut it down. That's why I think this is also being said, because this clip is not the first time that, and I also want to say that, like, no, that wasn't the crux of the argument, but I do think that that is something important to kind of point out, is the fact that it flipped out of his own mouth, said that you be trying to use all these tricky words to confuse people, and there is an insecurity that comes into that. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I'm not saying that was the point of the argument, but there is an insecurity when you're saying to somebody, you use tricky words, and it's not like he said tricky words, it's just words that you don't understand, so you take that some type of way. That's why people keep using that that clip from 40-year-old version of when Kevin Hart is talking to, I can't think of the guy's name at the store, but he said something, he was like, well, you're using words that I don't understand, so I'm going to take that as disrespect. Yeah, that's how it comes off. Because again, when Ish and Mark was going back and forth and Mark was trying to explain things, Ish wouldn't even let Mark talk. He wouldn't even let him talk. Same thing over here. So I want to be very clear, which is there is a pattern that people who do not watch the show see with the clips that do come out. The clips that come out from this show is either A, one of y'all niggas getting into it with Mark, and it's normally over him saying some shit that is either factually true or intellectually true, and y'all trying to argue him down that it's not. 2, Joe and Ish arguing at the top of their lungs. Or C, somebody disrespecting the shit out of Mel. Those are the 3 clips for people that don't watch this show that constantly come out from this show, right? So people are gonna meet you where you're at, period. That's the content that we see come from it, so that's what we're gonna do, right? Secondly, Flip in particular, and I put this on the actual Patreon too because I just want people to understand something. It does not help, and like I appreciate that like Joe and Ish really tried to stand up for Flip, but my thing is Flip purposefully leans into being ignorant. He could be super smart. He could be smarter than Ish for all I know, but publicly Flip does not lean into being smart. He leans into the ignorance. So I don't understand. And then when people are like, oh, well, it's performative. Okay, performative to the people that actually watch him. You're not going to always be judged by people that know everything about you. People are going to judge you on how they meet you. And Flip constantly leans into being ignorant. He constantly leans into not being the smartest. And not only that, you niggas on that show also help that shit with the chicky nuggy joke of it all, with y'all all constantly picking on him for not knowing certain things as far as like music or just historical facts. Y'all make fun of him too. Now y'all could be like, oh, well, that's our friend, so we can do that and it's out of love. But again, we can only go off of how we meet you. And all of the clips and things that we see of Flip is him not displaying his like brightest self. What do you want us to do about that? I'm pretty sure Flip is smart, probably smart. But again, that's not what he presents. And for y'all to come up here and be mad at people that do not watch the show for pulling all they can pull, which is the fact that this nigga constantly shows up on this show as not very smart. And then y'all constantly lean and push into that as well. How is that anybody else's fault? Another thing I want to talk about, right, that Joe said. Joe was like, and Park said this too, like, and Parks was like, granted, I'm doing the same thing right now, but I just want to say, I think it's weird for you to make such deep content or opinions on something that you did not watch. Are y'all serious? There's no way. And Joe was like, exactly, that's what I'm saying. You don't even watch yourself. I know good and well that one of the biggest platforms, right, that literally is the most uninformed is talking. Y'all come on this podcast all the time and say, we don't know. We don't know what the fuck we talking about. We just be saying shit. We don't really do the research. Y'all shouldn't come to us for that. We don't know. But y'all constantly run y'all mouths on set topics and important topics. I don't care. I'm going to use this example till I can't no more. The Tory and Meg situation. Y'all niggas had so much to say about everything around Meg and how she's a liar and Tory is this and read Tory and all this shit. Y'all did that for years through this case. Just for the verdict to come at the end and y'all sit up there and be like, well, we didn't really know what the charges was. And it's not like we was really following the case. So I guess maybe based off of what we read now, I guess that's the case. What are y'all literally do that all the time? Y'all constantly come on this show and have hour-long debates about shit that y'all did no research on. What are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about? Joe is classic. Joe always says, well, there goes a deep in-depth review from us. Exactly, because y'all don't look shit up. And that's why when Mona came on the show, and I think she was asking for advice,
Parks was like, my main advice to you is do your homework. Exactly. Because you niggas constantly come up here, don't know what the fuck be going on, and just run your mouths. Sometimes it's off of just clips. Sometimes it's just, it's a lot of times y'all do the exact same thing. So I'm not going to hold them to some higher standard because they didn't watch your whole podcast and y'all can do the same thing. No. They didn't watch the whole podcast and talk about it the same way that y'all do the same thing that they do. Y'all see clips of things and y'all pull assumptions and y'all judge from there. Period. All the time. It ain't no fucking different. It ain't no damn different. And the last thing too, before I go, right? The last thing I want to get into, right, is this whole like, oh, this person is the friend of the show and the friend of the show. Y'all talk bad about all the friends of the shows because I want to talk about Doshi for a second, right? You know, there was a part, I think, on the pod where they didn't really talk about Doshi, but somebody, I think Joe's like, do anybody want to say anything about Doshi? And nobody really said anything. I started laughing. And what they pretty much was trying to get at is they're like, well, where is Doshi? Doshi was everywhere, and now she's nowhere. That's not true. Doshi just started her tour. So what are we talking about? How are we saying that Doshi is nowhere when Doshi has been everywhere? Doshi has been, mostly from what I've seen, Doshi been doing a lot of festivals recently. A lot of festival performances. And then she just started her tour. So I don't know if they meant like in the sense of, I'm going to assume they're leaning into the whole, Doshi is an industry plan or whatever, when y'all genuinely just don't understand marketing. As I tell y'all all the time as somebody in marketing, y'all just don't understand when somebody's actually getting the what I'm gonna tell you what Doshi gives me. Doshi gives me that somebody went into the marketing department and fought for her. Somebody fought for her in that building to say, we need to allocate these marketing dollars and PR dollars towards this girl to push her. And somebody said, you want to know what? This bitch is talented. Check. Approve the budget. The budget is approved. Go ahead and spend what you got to spend on her. That's what it gives. That ain't no industry plan. And industry plans, to me, most industry plans, a lot of times, they're not that fucking talented. Do you know how talented Doshi is? Do you know how long Doshi has been around? As we keep saying that people that watch her, listen to her, just because you niggas are just now being hip, Doshi been around for a long time. Y'all don't even remember that Doshi performed on the BET Awards a few years ago when all she had was Crazy as a song. Nobody called her industry plant then. So Doshi's DJ, shout out, I think her name is DJ Milan. She came on and she started to defend Doshi and went at Joe on Twitter like, what the fuck are you talking about? You always talking about my girl, mind your business, da-da-da-da. And then Joe want to be like real threatening, like, oh, you just need to be careful with what you say. And somebody was like, wasn't Doshi on his show? She was. Doshi came on that same platform and talked about her album, and you dick rided. This is why I'm saying, please stop having guests, because your hypocrisy shows. Doshi was just on your show right when Alligator Bite Hills was out. And you sat up there and you talked to her. You listened to her whole journey. You listened to her talk about the album. You know how fucking intentional and smart this girl is. She sat there for an hour and some change, which is one of the few fucking interviews that I watched. And you sat there and you gave her praise for her old fucking album. Her whole thing. When she won the Grammy, giving her praise just to turn around and shit on her. Stop having people on your show that you're going to turn around and shit on 5 seconds later. Because was it industry plant when she came on your show? Was that industry plant? Were you paid for that? Okay then, shut your mouth. Same thing like I said, which pisses me off about Meg, because a lot of y'all might not know this, but as much as Joe hates Meg, he did a whole interview with her. The way that when he used to do them little series of just talking to people, how he did it with Tiana Taylor. If you go right now, he has a whole interview sitting there talking to Megan. Same thing I don't get. How could you sit there and listen to that girl's journey, listen to everything that she went through, and then turn around and say the shit that you say about her? You cannot believe the whole Tory Lanez thing, but you talk so bad about this girl like she didn't sit in your face and tell her whole fucking life story, and you give her no grace the same way Doshi sat on this couch less than a fucking year ago explaining everything. You sitting there kissing her ass for you to turn around and try to make assumptions that she's an industry plant. Suck a peen from the back. But you want to know who you won't say nothing about that was on your show? You won't say shit about Nicki though. I found that interesting that Joe will say something about bitch, now I'm getting mad. Now I'm really getting mad, because now that I'm thinking about it, you got no problem talking about all the other rap girlies except Mika, Tanya, Mirage. Every
Everybody else, you got no problem critiquing. You will drag Meg to hell and back. You're so fucking sassy to sit up there and be like this. And this is exactly why I'm unsubscribed, because I can't take it no more. I can't take it. You're so sassy to be like, oh, did y'all hear that sample, whatever that Meg, that Meg did? Oh, that shit's fire, whatever. And I don't fuck with that lady at all. You are a fucking bird, and you act like, ooh, you're a bird, bitch. Because what was the point of saying that? We know that you don't like her. That's very obvious. I don't fuck with that lady at all. You're such a bird. Are you 15? That you had to say it like that? Either you like the song or you don't. Shut up. But like I said, when it comes to, hold on, stop. When it comes to the female rappers or whatever, everybody gets critiqued except Onika. And especially when she deserves it. When she deserves it. She gets nothing. Like I said, you went off about Meg. You went off about Doshi now. You done went off before about JT or whatever. And how you feel, well, you like JT or whatever. So that's neither here nor there. But my thing is, But you still critiqued her very hardly on her music or whatever. I went back because I wanted to make sure I was not losing my mind. After Cardi's album came out, right? I went back to go and listen to their review of Pink Friday 2. When Pink Friday 2 came out, you want to know what Joe said? Joe said, this was Pop Nicki, and I'm just going to save my thoughts of what I think about the album to tell her to her face. What? That shit blew me when I went back and watched, because I could not remember after I was done listening to their review of Cardi's album. I'm like, I cannot remember. What did they say about Nicki's album? Did they like it? Did they not like it? And I couldn't remember because you did not review it. You said, I'm not going to say my feelings here. I'm going to tell her to her face. Why is it that Onika continues to get special treatment from y'all? And then you want to turn around and tell Cardi that she's losing her mind. Again, classic gaslighter. I literally paired up the two reviews next to each other. Now, it's not that y'all said anything bad about Cardi's album. It's not that. I'm just talking about the overall emphasis that y'all put on certain people and that y'all don't. Y'all gave an hour-long review on that. You talked about how much you hated Imaginary Players. But when Nicki's album dropped, you couldn't even critique it publicly. It was, oh, I'm going to tell her to her face. Why does she get that luxury but nobody else does? You know, you have Drake's number, but you constantly fucking do that. And I'm taking it off of females. You have Drake's number, yet you constantly critique him publicly in front of everybody. You will critique everybody publicly except Onika. I need to know, Joe, Ebro, I would put Wayno in there, but Wayno just did a video where he was like being honest about Nicki, so I appreciate that. But what does Onika have on you media people? Are y'all scared of her husband that y'all just won't say what the fuck it is? Too much grace be given to that bitch on that show. But everybody else, so let's call out Doshi for being quote-unquote industry plant. But let's not call out the fact that Nicki announced that fake-ass album because she was trying to step on Cardi's shit. Let's not do that. That whole back and forth between Nicki and Cardi, they caked for Nicki the whole time. Not once did they stop and say, Nicki started all this shit because you dropped your date knowing good and damn well you was trying to step on her shit. Y'all caked for Nicki that whole episode. Everybody in the comments even said y'all scared of that hoe. All I have to say, that's why I'm fucking subscribed. That's why I'm done with this fucking show. Joe will not continue he won't continue to gaslight me, not for money. I'll watch, and on top of that, what is the point of paying for Patreon when we see all the clips that we need to see, either A, in the JBT community, or when y'all drop y'all weekly clips? What's the point? We see it anyway. So I'm going to go back, I guess, to the regular drops, what I see clip-wise from Patreon, and that's it. Don't gaslight us like that. Y'all get in the comments. I'm out.